What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of Basement Philosophy. Sorry it's taken so long to get this up. It's just been a hell of a couple weeks and a hell of a month, but we're here now. And today's quote of the day. Today's going to be a little bit of a different episode. It's going to be more of a company update. We're going to talk about, where HIP is and where HIP has come from in the last 8 or 9 months, and a couple really exciting updates. So stick around for that. But the quote of the day is "Pay your dues," and that one's courtesy of my dad. And we're going to talk about the journey of Theseus to Athens to reclaim his crown, and all the tribulations and all the dues he had to pay to make sure that happened. So stick around, check all that out. And as always, every episode is brought to you by HIP Alternative Coffee, 100% barley coffee, no caffeine, real good for you. And that's that. So stick around, enjoy episode 4, Pay Your Dues, Basement Philosophy. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't covering my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Theseus and the journey to Athens. Theseus, son of Aegeus, king of Athens, and Aethra, daughter of King Pythias of Troezen, was raised in Troezen, far from his father's kingdom. Before Theseus was born, Aegeus hid a sword and sandals under a massive rock and instructed Aethra to tell Theseus of his heritage when he was strong enough to lift the rock and retrieve the items. When Theseus came of age, his mother revealed the truth about his parentage. Theseus, demonstrating his great strength and determination, lifted the rock and took the sword and sandals. Determined to prove himself as a true hero, Theseus chose to journey to Athens by the dangerous overland route rather than the safer sea route. On his way to Athens, Theseus encountered a series of notorious bandits and monsters, each posing a deadly challenge. The first was, here we go, guys. The first was Periphetes, known as the club bearer, who would ambush travelers and kill them with his massive bronze club. Theseus, undaunted, fought and killed them. No, I can't do that. I can't back out. Fought and killed Periphetes, taking the club as a trophy. Next, Theseus met Cenas, the pine bender. Cenas was a savage bandit who killed travelers by tying them to bent pine trees and then releasing the trees, tearing the victims apart. Theseus overpowered Cenas and gave him a taste of his own medicine, ending his reign of terror. In the village of Crommyon, Theseus faced the Cromenian Sow, a monstrous wild pig that had been ravaging the land. Theseus slew the beast, freeing the villagers from its terror. Further along his journey, Theseus encountered Siren, a wicked bandit who forced travelers to wash his feet, only to kick him into the sea when a giant turtle awaited to devour them. Theseus defeated Siren by throwing him into the sea, where he met the same fate. Near Eleusis, Theseus met Cercyon, a powerful king who challenged travelers to a deadly wrestling match. Theseus, using skill and strategy, defeated and killed Cercyon, proving his prowess as a wrestler. Finally, Theseus encountered Procrustes, a sadistic innkeeper who forced guests to fit perfectly into his bed, either by stretching them or by cutting off their limbs. Theseus turned the tables on Procrustes, making him suffer the same fate he had inflicted on others. I'm pretty sure I messed that one up too. Procrustes. That sounds better than Procrustes. I'm butchering it again, guys. We're almost done. Procrustes. After overcoming these challenges, Theseus arrived in Athens. However, his trials were not over. Aegeus, influenced by the sorceress Medea, did not recognize Theseus and almost poisoned him. At the last moment, Aegeus recognized his son by the sword and sandals Theseus carried. The two were joyfully reunited, and Theseus was acknowledged as the rightful heir to the throne of Athens. And that, my friend, is the story of Theseus and his journey to Athens. We're going to close this up right here. I only fucked up one name, and it was the bad guy. And it was the guy who wanted you to like force you into bed with him. So, good thing I fucked that one up. Hold on, guys. Just a little sip of hip here before we get started. Welcome back, guys. Episode 4. I know it's taken a while to kind of get this going. I used to produce a bunch of podcasts. I produce them on the side sometimes, and the consistency thing is always a pain in the ass, but just to get these things out and fire them out and get them going when I can, it's always just good just to do it. And here we are, episode 4. And today's quote is a very important one. It's one that I've heard it my whole life. It's very appropriate for the topic today. And it's something my dad said, Joe Tassoni, the inspiration for HIP, the man that this is all based off of, the man that kind of gave me the idea of getting this started. And the quote is, simple. Everyone has heard this at some point, but it's simply pay your dues. And that story of Theseus was a perfect lead into today, because today it's just no advice today, none of that. I think too, going forward, I think the show is gonna change a little bit. I've had some time to sit down and think about what I want this to be, and to be a new business owner and go on the journey to give advice. I think, in some cases it's good, but in a lot of cases when you're first starting, it's better to just maybe give a point of view. So not so much advice, but just things I want to share about, what's going on with HIP and what's going on with everything else in the building of something from absolute scratch. So the pay your dues theme is great, because today's episode is simply just going to be a couple of company updates. We've been at this now for about 8 months. So things have happened. Some really cool things have happened. Some other things that are maybe more of like a learning curve type deal have gone on. So today I'm just going to maybe give like a general company update of what's going on, what's happened over the last 8 months, and fire that out there. A couple really cool announcements. So hold on here. So let's fire it up. So number 1, so it is end of August. As of September, we would have been in existence. We are in existence for about 9 months now. So our first sale was, I think, the second week of January, and I started running ads. So I built everything in December, and then I started running ads the first week or 2 of January, and then in the second week of January we got our first sale. So from there, it's been a pretty good clip. And what I mean by pretty good clip, there's nothing to compare it to, really. There's nothing to compare it to, because this is my first time doing it, and I don't know what good sales are off the hop right now. So between January and I'd say about May or June, we were averaging a couple bags of I think the average we said was like 1.3 bags every 2 days or something like that. That was the average. So between January and now, we're in the triple digits with sales. We've sold over 100 bags, which is it's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool thing, taking something from an idea from absolutely nothing to selling hundreds of these things. Essentially, that's pretty sweet. And it's just been online. It's only been direct to consumer. It's through the website, and starting in January until about May, it's been exclusively that. So that's update number 1. We're selling bags. It's going slow. It's really slow right now. It's summertime too. It's slowed down quite a bit since that ring between January and June, but it's still going. We have more updates to kind of fill that in. So around June, we got in our first store. Which is super cool. That's update number 2. So finally, we're in a physical store. I'm from Northern Ontario. I've got a lot of really good people up there that help out, a lot of really good friends. And I have a friend that owns a health food store, and it's called Northern Naturals. It's up in Sault Ste. Marie. Jocelyn, if you're seeing this, Go see Jocelyn. Go see Jocelyn at Northern Naturals if you're seeing this. And she had reached out and said it would be really cool to carry HIP, in the store. And I said, hey, this is my first forte into putting a product on the shelf. So we did that. So that was in about June or May, June. I think it could have been earlier too. Things are starting to blend together now, but around, we'll say springtime, it was in the first store. And story goes, I guess there's a couple people who buy 4 bags at a time. I think she said one woman came in and bought 6. So it's popular, I guess, for a certain segment of people or a couple people, which is great. We've sold out, I think, 3 times at her place. So that is really cool. So that's update number 2. We are in a store. It's kind of it's an ongoing thing. And then I'd say update number 3, if you checked out on our socials, on Instagram, on TikTok, we did our first pop-ups, which the gym F45. So F45 is a gym that I've been a member of for a long time, and I figure, HIP, the brand, works really well with, the brand of F45. And I reached out and, we've scheduled, so we have 4 scheduled pop-ups. We already did one, the one that's online right now. We did one. It went good. I was nervous as hell. I had my girlfriend come and help out. I've never done a pop-up. Didn't know what it entailed. Didn't know what I was supposed to do. I think it went okay. And it was cool. It was cool kind of explaining the story to people. It was cool being in that environment and being able to show this to people, and a lot of curiosity. A lot of questions are like, I didn't know you can make coffee out of barley. And it's not coffee, it's an alternative coffee. But to be able to, share the story and kind of talk about the marketing and the creative behind it, and then the story with my father and me. So we're starting to get that out in the physical world, on one-to-ones with people. So we have, that one happened, I think it was 2 weeks ago now. We have 3 more scheduled across the other 3 F45s across downtown Toronto. So those will be coming up in the coming weeks. I believe not this Saturday, next Saturday we're at one. The Saturday after that, we're at the one that I go to, the home gym, the downtown one. And then I believe the Saturday after that, we're at Liberty Village. So we've kind of got the whole of downtown Toronto covered, which is super cool. I mean, these are really fun to do. I really like them. We've got all the accoutrement. We've got the cards going. I don't have any with me. I put a QR code on there so it gets people directly to the site, so you can download the book and the album and all that cool shit. So it's been fun. So that update number 2 is that. So I'd like to do more of those. I'm trying to figure out how to. A lot of this world too is feverish cold emails. And today I was actually cold emailing somebody, and I'd been sending so many of these, I'd put the wrong name on the top of the email. I'm not going to say who or what I was emailing, but if you see it, I apologize. I had put the wrong name and then continued to write the email as if I was talking to the person that I thought I was sending it to. Not cool. Not cool. So that one you will probably not see us at, but there are others. So those are out in the ether. That's what a lot of this is too, is a lot of sitting at your computer and just smashing your head against the wall, trying to find the right way to approach people in a cold email sense. But that's been going on too. That's been kind of a weekly occurrence, getting in when I can, just sending out emails, trying to get it. Restaurants, coffee shops, trying to see where this thing fits outside of direct to consumer. And then another final big update. We are in our second store. We just got our first sale in our second store. It's also up in Sault Ste. Marie, in my hometown. Like I said, I've got a lot of old contacts there, a lot of old friends that are really like this and are helping me out with it. So we got in our second store, but that store has 5 ancillary stores. So we're essentially in 6 stores. We're in 2 Northern Naturals, This store now is called Sweet Greetings. There's 5 of them in Sault Ste. Marie. So we are in 6 total physical locations, which is very cool. I didn't think, in 8 months I'd be able to get in 6 spots and have sales and all this really cool shit. So it's really cool. Things are going a mile a minute because I'm, what you're seeing is I'm the one-man band here. I'm sourcing the stuff. I'm making the content. I'm doing this. You know what I mean? I also have other things that I'm up to. I also have other side businesses and jobs and freelance stuff. So it's going a billion miles an hour. But so store number 6, we got our first sale yesterday in that specific store, and then we're just waiting to see sort of how it does everywhere else. And then premature, we've got a few restaurants on the hook. Potentially. Some of those cold emails hit. We're kind of in the back and forth. I'm not going to say anything about where or who or what, but because it's so early, but I want to put out in the universe that it's out there. We're doing it. It's hopefully going to get in more hands. So just paying the dues, man. That's why I think the pay your dues episode might be like an occurrence. It might be like every couple months we're just going to do a pay your dues episode, because this is fun to explain the goings-ons of what's happening as we go. The advice stuff is fun too. I mean, no one really takes your word for it unless they know it's worth something. So I think I'm a little bit too early to maybe give solid advice, but I think in the realm of starting something, I can kind of, give a nod to what's going on. So that's been sort of the last 8.8 months, in a week or less than that, it'll be officially 9 months. So that's the company updates. That's pretty much it. What else is there? That's about it, guys. Just the cold emails, the getting in front of people, a few more lines in the water that, we're going to see what happens. And hopefully people get back. Also too, guys, like the hit rate for, here's some advice. If you're looking to start something, the hit rate of cold email to people getting back to you, it's at the beginning, it's like 100 to 1. You're going to send out 100 emails and they're going to be shitty emails, but you're going to send them out and you might get one person saying, hey, okay, I'll listen to you for a second. And when you do, all you need is one, and it's awesome and it feels great, but you just got to do it a lot. So sit at your computer, bash it out, smash it out, and get as many emails as you can out. That's maybe the pay your dues advice for the day. Other than that, what time are we at right now? We're about 20 minutes. That's about it. I don't want to take up too much time here because there's not a whole lot to talk about. That's about it, guys. So update 1, we hit triple digits in sales. So we're in the hundreds right now with bags sold. It's a little bit slow now. Summertime slows down. So we've hit about 100 into the hundreds now, which is super cool. We've been in one store for a little while now, Northern Naturals up in Sault Ste. Marie. So that's really cool. We've been selling out there. That's awesome. It's always great news. That's update 2. Update 3 is that we are in our second official store. That store has, I think, 4 or 5 offshoots. So we'll be in that area up in the Sioux as well. Sweet Greetings. And then final one is we might have a couple restaurants on the hook here. We might have a couple restaurants who are interested. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I didn't say it. As always, this show sponsored by Hip Old Coffee, www.siphip.ca. We have our, also too, I totally forgot. We put out an album. It's 12 songs. Now the music producers are going to hate me right now, but it is AI. All the songs are AI generated with a flavor of, I named it Reading Music from the End of the World. And it's inspired by all of the tunes that I used to listen to during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, what I would do is I was living at home, and I lived at home I did this for almost 2 years, more than 2 years actually. But Sorry guys if that, testing. Didn't want that to clip. I did this for, 2 years, almost 2 years, but I have this route that I would walk almost every night during the pandemic, even during when they were doing the Gestapo's, stop and frisk type shit, when they would ask you, why are you outside your house? But I would do this as sort of a way to like kind of clear the mind, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock when all of the jobs would, shut down for the day and all the freelance stuff would kind of go away for the day. I would need to get this energy out, and no one was allowed outside or in establishments. So I would take these walks in my neighborhood and I would be gone for like 2 hours, and I would have these phone calls with all my friends. I would call everyone in my phone book and we would just bullshit because there was nothing else to do. And I had this playlist of like softer ambient type music. It became the playlist of 2020 or 20, from 2020 to 2022. I was living at home for almost 3 years, and I would do this route. So the album is AI generated. It sounds beautiful. It's crazy what AI can do these days, guys. Don't fight it. Lean into it. I know producers are punching the air right now, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to have something up here and go, I want to see if I can make it. It's obviously not as good as a human. I'll say that. It's obviously not as good, but it has the same flavor. It's 12 songs. And then I had a reading playlist. So I during the pandemic, I smashed books. I read a stack of psychology books that could fill this table, and I had a playlist going on. So what I did is I tried to emulate 12 songs that kind of lined up to that music, and I put them in an album, 12 songs. It's if you go on the site, www.siphip.ca, it's a pop-up that pops up. You get the book, the ebook with the quotes, and then also this album to check out too. It's 12 songs. If you want to throw it on a playlist, have it on your computer, whatever you want to do, put it on your phone. I'm a little bit boomer with it, so it's files. You got to download it. It's files. It's the best I could think of, guys. It's something. I'm trying to provide some value along with this. So we've got that out too. So maybe that's update number 5. But it's cool. Check it out. You get your 20% off discount as well. That's about it, guys. So don't forget to check us out: YouTube, Instagram, Hip Alt Coffee, TikTok, all the places, Facebook. And that's about it. Quote of the day is pay your dues, courtesy of my dad. Pay your dues, guys. Whatever it is, it's going to suck. It's going to hurt. Just do it. Get it over with. And that's it. All right. We'll see you hopefully episode 5. See ya. Lights out. Adios.